Officers say a woman intentionally drove into McKees James Bostic. Investigators say he was wedged between a vehicle and a home on Lisa Lane. Detectives believe some of his children were there.
The family just absolutely devastated over the loss of Bostic, who, as you just said, was killed when the mother of his children pinned him between a house and a car. Those family members describing him to me as a man with a big heart, a provider who worked nonstop to provide for his children.
She would do him so cruelly. It's so wrong. It's not fair. It's not right, but he's a good person. He's truly gonna be missed. You know, a long time ago they said there's a few good men left. He was one of them. He was gonna provide for his family, and he's gonna do the things that he needs to do for his family.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again to y'all another video. Hope y'all having a very great day. Hope y'all having a very great week. My day is going absolutely marvelous. Big shout out to all the channel members and subscribers to the Trey King Show family. And much love to each and every last one of you all. And you all, we have a story out of Alabama by way of Birmingham. And big shout out to everybody in the great state of Alabama. Everybody outside the great city of Birmingham. Now, before I start this story, I want to send a special thank you out to my channel members and also to my subscribers for sending me this story. And also, keep these stories coming. And also, before I start this story, I want to send a special condolence out to the family and friends of 27 years old McKees James Bostic, because it's very sad and tragic what happened to this young man, all by the hands of his baby mama / girlfriend. And as you all listen to this story, I want you all to remember one thing: you cannot change people. And if you're dealing with somebody who is very ungrateful, the best thing you can do if they don't want to change is to leave that person, as in the case of this story. Now, before I dig deep into the story, I want to give you all just a quick background on McKees James Bostic. Now, McKees James Bostic was a high school graduate, went and worked for the city of Birmingham for like the last 8 years that I heard. And he also never been in trouble with the law, because I don't even think that you can get a city job if you ever been in trouble with the law. So here we have a man who's a hard-working man, who's also a father, and who's also a family-oriented man. Now, you would think that a woman would love that type of person. And also adding to that point, ladies, just imagine you meet a man and this man upgrades your life. And she basically came from nothing. Not trying to talk down on her or her people or whatnot, because her people really don't have nothing to do with her because she's grown. But he met this woman, upgraded this woman's life, put her into a nice 5-bedroom, 2-bath house, as you all can see, and also bought her a vehicle. Now, you would think that would be enough for anybody. And not only that, family, he also took on trips out the country, as you all see. They are in Jamaica. So here we have a man who is trying to live his best life, trying to take care of his family, and also trying to please an ungrateful woman. And not only did McKees James Bostic take Shatis Jackson to Jamaica, but he also took his family. As you all see this photo, I had to blur the faces out because I cannot show the faces of the children. He also took the children to the beach. And also adding to that point, they say that McKees James Bostic and Shatis Jackson share 3 kids together. Now, they also say that Shatis Jackson has 5 children. So we have a man who took care of a woman, and not only that, he also took care of the 2 kids that did not even belong to him. Now ask yourself, ladies, how many men is going to take care of, number one, somebody else's kids? Because some men barely want to take care of their own damn children. Let's just be for real. And you mean to tell me the way you pay this man back after buying you a house, buying you a nice vehicle, upgrading your life, fixing you up, taking you on trips out the country, taking the children on the trips, the best way that you can pay him is to do what? To shoot at him and then argue with him and then ultimately run this man over. But they have an old saying, family, look here, when you're ungrateful, when you don't appreciate what God gave you, guess what happened? It gets taken away from you, as in the case of this story. And worse than that, they are trying to give Shatis Jackson a capital murder charge.
Because those kids were there, this can now be a capital murder case. Because anytime in Alabama when there's a child that the couple shares in common that's under the age of 14, you now could be looking at capital murder. So let me ask you this before we dig deep into the story, family. Do you think Shatis Jackson should receive the capital murder charge? Because she killed James Bostic in front of his family, in front of his children. They also say that it was several children in the back seat of this SUV when Shatis Jackson ran James Bostic over.
A deadly act of rage between a mother and father unfolded with their children possibly in the back seat.
Now, also added to that point before we dig deep into the story, that when this incident took place around 7 p.m. that night, they had already argued earlier that day, and the police was dispatched to the house. And the reason why the police didn't arrest anybody earlier in that day is because they said with nothing criminal going on. So they told Shatis Jackson to go her way, and James Bostic went back to the house. Now, you would think after going their separate ways for several hours, things would cool down, cooler heads would do what? Prevail. But no, Shatice Jackson came right back with that BS on her mind. And that's where the story takes place. So let's begin.
Deadly domestic dispute in Birmingham. Police have just identified the man they say was hit and pinned against a house by the mother of his children.
This all unfolding during a birthday and Easter celebration last night.
And now, as you heard the news say, family, this incident took place on Easter Sunday at McKees James Bostic house at his 7-year-old daughter birthday party. Now, here we have a man celebrating his child's birthday and also trying to have a celebration with his family, just having a good time. And what this woman do? Turn everything upside down, just like ungrateful people will do. Let's continue.
Investigators say 27-year-old McKees James Bostic died after being hit. An argument between Bostic and his children's mother escalated to the point where a gun was involved and eventually led to his death.
And now, after hearing that report from the news reporter, I really wondered to myself, family, what was they arguing about? Because it seemed to me it wasn't James Bostic with the problem. It was Shatice Jackson with the problem. And as her family member stated on Facebook, is that Shatice Jackson always been the aggressor, always been a problem. And no, this was not their first day arguing. And once again, it's also stated that McKees James Bostic never hit Shatice Jackson, never laid a hand on her. Only thing this man wanted to do was just love this woman. And trying to love the wrong person is the reason why he's not here right now. So take all of this as a lesson. Let's continue.
A deadly act of rage between a mother and father unfolded with their children possibly in the back seat, where a birthday party and Easter celebration had taken place.
And as I told y'all earlier in the video, family, all of this took place in front of McKees James Bostic family and friends, and also some of the neighbors. Because when some of the neighbors heard the commotion, they came outside just like most anybody would do when there's something going on in their neighborhood, especially in their block area. But what's really more tragic than anything is the fact that McKees James Bostic children witnessed this whole incident. And not only that, they also say some of the kids was in the back seat of this SUV. And just think how terrified those children must have been, family, to witness this ordeal. Because remember also, this happened on Easter Sunday during one of the girls, the 7-year-old girl, birthday party. So we're thinking that we're going to have a good time today. It's going to be a celebration. But guess what, though? That celebration turned to tears later on that night. Let's continue.
A large crowd, including family members and children, witnessed the incident. It got so chaotic, Birmingham police had to call a max emergency for all officers to respond to the scene.
And as I stated to you all earlier, when Shatice Jackson left the house earlier that day because her and James Bostic had an argument, the police made them separate. She came back to the house later on that evening with that BS on her mind and proceeded to start back arguing with this man after being separated for a few hours. Now, you would think cooler heads would prevail and she would have calmed her ass down. But not only did Shatice Jackson argue with James Bostic, she also produced a handgun and fired 4 shots. Now, I'm not sure if the 4 shots was aimed at him, but she definitely shot inside this house. It goes to show you how much she appreciated the house that McKees James Bostic bought her. That's a damn shame right there. Let's continue.
Investigators found 27-year-old McKees James Bostic pinned between a vehicle and a house.
And when the police arrived on the scene, family, they had to call the Birmingham Fire and Rescue to unpin McKees James Bostic from the house between the SUV. And think how much pain that man must have been in before he died. And also, think about the pain he must have felt in his heart when the person who's supposed to love him betrayed him the most. That's a damn shame. And that's why sometimes in life, fellas and women, it pays to be single. And one thing I always live by is a code. And I live by this simple code, family, is that I can be mad and do bad all by myself. I don't need nobody help to be mad. I don't need nobody help to do bad. And that's what you got to tell yourself. So next time your spouse, husband, wife, girlfriend, or boyfriend want to start arguing or want to start tripping, you just tell them that, and guess what? And stand on it. Because if they don't want to change, guess what you have to do? You have to change. Let's go and continue.
Under Alabama law, this deadly incident could mean serious charges if intent is determined.
Because those kids were there, this can now be a capital murder case. Because anytime in Alabama when there's a child that the couple shares in common that's under the age of 14, you now could be looking at capital murder.
And now in closing, as you all heard the news reporter say, and also the police officer state that they are trying to charge Shatice Jackson with capital murder if they can prove intent. So let me ask you all this, family, and we're going to close up. Do you think Shatice Jackson meant to run McKees James Bostic over? Do you think she intentionally mean to do that? Which means that she was very aware of what she was doing. Now, I'm going to answer it for you all, but you all can also let me know in the comment section. Me personally, I believe she intended to run this man over. Because number one, how you sit up here and get in a vehicle, put it in drive, you got to aim toward him to hit the gas and go. So evidently, you was aiming toward this man with the intent to hit him. And now, true enough, also adding to that point, you may not intend to kill him, but guess what though? Anytime you take a vehicle and you run into somebody, no matter if they're man or woman, you're still flesh, guess what can happen? That person can still end up losing their life. It's no difference than you taking a gun and shooting them in the head. And guess what? That means you intended to kill them, whether you try to do it or not. Because once again, you're taking a weapon, aiming it at a person, and you're pulling the trigger. So guess what's going to happen? Somebody going to end up hurt or dead. So let me know that, family, in the comment section. Do you think that Shatise Jackson deserved capital murder? And more than anything, how you sit up here at number one? Okay, we understand you don't care about McKees James Bostic, evidently. But how you sit up here and leave your 5 children out here to fend for themselves by themselves? And once again, my heart goes out to the family and friends of McKees James Bostic and to his family. If there's anything that I can do for those children, please let me know in the comment section. Anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. If there's anything I may have missed or misinformed, which is not my true intent, please let me know in the comment section, or you can email me and we can talk about it more there. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Also share a video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all have a blessed day and you all take care of yourself. And remember one thing, as I stated earlier in the video, you can do bad and be mad all by yourself. Because life is too short to be playing games and be arguing with ungrateful people. But this is what happened when you are ungrateful. You can go all the way up and you can go all the way down. You will lose everything. That's just how it works. Anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. And I will see y'all soon on the next Trey King Show. And guess what? I'm out.